Hello and welcome everybody to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on all our social networks and to catch us every day by logging onto our website, mexiconewsnetwork.com, for relevant stories and news. Let's start with today's information. Mexico has been awarded the Tourism Excellence Award 2017 by Spanish corporate Grupo Excelencias at the Tourism Trade Summit in Acapulco. The Excellence Award was received by the Undersecretary of Innovation and Tourism Development, Gerardo Corona Gonzalez, on behalf of President Enrique Peña Nieto during the Tianguis tourist activities that took place in Acapulco this week. Upon delivering the award, Jose Carlos de Santiago, president of Excelencias Group, said that Mexico was selected due to the professionalization of the Mexican tourist sector that has translated into world-class companies and tourism products. Corona Gonzalez said that over the past 6 years, the current administration has worked to strengthen fundamental aspects of Mexico's tourism industry, such as promotion, connectivity, financing, investment, and urban planning. The federal official said that Mexico could actually climb to 8th place in the world ranking this year in terms of tourist visitors, with revenues expected to be in the order of $19 billion. Moving on. Donald Trump's pressure on U.S. companies to generate more jobs in his country is opening up investment opportunities in Mexico for Chinese companies, a senior manager at the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China said last Friday. The cancellation of a $1.6 billion plant by Ford in San Luis Potosí sparked fears that more companies would yield to pressure from the U.S. head of state, and that would cause a drop in foreign investment flows to Mexico. But the head of the ICBC unit in Mexico, Yaogang Chen, has another impression. If U.S. investment projects don't happen, there has to be somebody to invest. If Chinese companies think it's profitable, they will invest, Chen said, as part of a Mexican tourism summit in Acapulco. In early February, the Mexican company Giant Motors and China's Anhui Jingwei Automobile, JAC Motor, in addition to the distributor Chori Company Limited, announced that they'll invest more than $210 million in an existing plant to manufacture SUVs in the central state of Hidalgo. Meanwhile, Chinese company BAIC Motors, which is already an ICBC customer, started selling its cars imported from China in Mexico since June 2016 and has confirmed that it will look into building an industrial plant in Mexico to produce cars and electric vehicles. ICBC, one of the world's leading banks, expects to increase its assets and loan portfolio tenfold in Mexico in the next 3 years to about 10 billion pesos. In other headlines, Mexican mining and railroad company Grupo Mexico, SAB, has agreed to buy Florida East Coast Railway Holdings Corporation in a $2.1 billion deal, expanding its transport operations in the United States with the acquisition of the 351-mile railway along Florida's Atlantic coast. The announcement is a rare acquisition that comes as U.S. President Donald Trump is attempting to renegotiate trade ties between the two countries. Grupo Mexico Transportes will acquire 100% of Florida East Coast Railway shares and assume its debt, pending approval of the deal by regulatory authorities. Grupo Mexico's transport unit will finance the purchase from Fortress Investment Group with $1.75 billion in debt and $350 million in its own funds. The company informed the Mexican Stock Exchange. Grupo Mexico, one of the world's largest copper producers together with Kansas City Southern de Mexico and Ferro Valle, control more than 72% of the Mexican rail freight market. And finally, let's take a look at the markets. The Mexican peso increased 0.05% to 18.71 from 18.7 in the previous trading session. IPC Mexico decreased 0.61% to 49,037 from 49,339 in the previous trading session. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm your host, Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and log on to mexiconewsnetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.